My husband told me while drunk that he is in love with my sister. +2 updates. Yesterday, we had dinner with my sister Jane and her husband, and we all had a lot to drink. After Jane and her husband left, my husband and I had fun time. Neither of us were tired, so we continued drinking a bit of wine, listening to music in the background, and everything was amazing, or so I thought. My husband was smiling and in a good mood. He is always like that when he is drunk. We talked about Jane and her husband. He just suddenly said,
I'm so in love with Jane.
I said what? He said,
I'm so desperately in love with Jane. What I would do to taste her lips. She is brilliant.
He looked dreamy and was still smiling. I said, how drunk are you? He said, probably plenty. I was drunk too, but still, it hit me like a ton of bricks. I just sat silent there, and he too was in his own world, with a smile etched on his face. He looked like he was a million miles away. I went to bed. This morning all memories came rushing, and now I'm not drunk. It hit me even more what he said. I'm horrified and my heart is in pieces. He hasn't mentioned anything and is acting normal if yet hangover. I don't know what to do now. He has always had a good relationship with my sister with mutual respect. Should I ignore his drunken comments? Was that just him being drunk? Should I wait for him to start talking? Not sure he even remembers. What about the fun time we just had? Something was different, even though I loved it, and I thought it was one of the best cheeks clapping of my life. He was different, passionate, tender, and loving, and he kept saying, I love you. You are brilliant. P.S. My sister has always been modest and tomboyish, but she has lost 25 kilograms and have been working out for a year. She had a form-fitting red dress yesterday with red lips. She looked stunning, and we all gave her compliments about it. She was very happy about it. I don't know why I included this. I thought maybe it's relevant. Part 2 update. I talked to my husband. He said he didn't remember a lot about that night, especially after my sister and her husband left and we continued drinking. I told him what he said and he didn't look shocked nor surprised, just that he didn't remember saying anything. I asked him if he felt it before we started drinking. He said that he always loved my sister because she is kind and warm. Then he said that he thought she looked very beautiful and probably his drunken self thought she was hot. He said it is normal that people are curious about the opposite gender. He said that he always thought she is beautiful because all my family is good looking, but her weight loss gave her confidence and she looked happy and he was happy for her. I asked him if he could choose between us, and he was shocked and said that I was his wife and the mother of his children, and he loved me. So I asked him if he just had met us. I wasn't his wife or anything, and my sister wasn't married. He said that this was getting ridiculous, and he hated playing the hypothetical games because people get worked up, fight about things that aren't really real. After dinner, he said that he loved me very much, and he is happy. And I shouldn't overthink what he said when he was too drunk to even know who or where he was. I'm just not sure.
Here are the top comments.
Drunk words are sober thoughts. Well, a conversation absolutely needs to be had, like it or not. Preferably when you're not hungover and it's quiet and have time to dive deep into it. 'Cause that's an issue for sure. I've just read the previous post too, and that's the part that gets me. How OP says that that was the best clapping cheeks she had. But what if he was thinking that was her sister?
It's the she's brilliant right after you're brilliant. Just no, I would never be able to get over that. He thought he was sleeping with the sister.
Part 3. 1 month later. My husband told me while drunk that he is in love with my sister. Hi again. I have been delaying my update because honestly, I'm still fatigued. It has been rough. My husband and I have been to therapy and I don't know if I like therapy or if we are making any progress. Sometimes I feel like we are not making progress fast enough and sometimes I just want to give up and disappear. I have found out that my sister knew all along about my husband's feelings for her. All these years and she never bothered to alert me. I went on thinking I was happily married to a man whose heart I thought was mine. I yelled and raged at her and cried, and she cried too and apologized and said that she didn't want to hurt me and didn't know what to do. I feel a lot of anger and resentment towards her, and I have been playing my years with my husband, trying to remember every interaction with my sister, and if I missed anything by being blindly stupid. I am just so confused. I can't remember anything that is remotely alarming, and yet my sister never tried to avoid my husband. She gladly spent weekends, holidays, and vacations with my husband and me. Wouldn't she at least have tried to distance herself? According to her, it was me she wanted to have a relationship with. Me and my children are the most important people to her. She didn't want to be apart from me. She told my husband that and he promised to never make her uncomfortable. But she knew that he had feelings for her. She refused to answer if he still did, however, which is an answer itself. She panicked and said no, and please believe me. I told her that I needed some distance. She apologized and started crying. I haven't spoken to her in maybe 3 weeks. I heard that her husband is upset and has left the house because he didn't know either. I don't know what more to update. I have tried to keep it simple. I feel like I need advice now more than ever, and honestly, therapy is leaving me feeling empty after every session. It feels I don't know how to describe it. Methodical and matter-of-factual. Only the practical and logical aspects that need to be solved. Am I right in being angry at my sister? Am I too optimistic that this still could work with my husband? Can he love me? Just me. I don't know how to move on. I don't want to forget. I want to forgive.
Additional information from OP's comments.
She said that he confessed to her long time ago, and she didn't know what to do. She didn't want me to hate her, and I was so in love, and then when she wanted, I was pregnant, so she kept quiet and told him to never tell me. He begged her not to tell me either, so she thought that it was all over. He has been texting her when he is drunk or depressed or feeling down or sick, but she deletes his texts and pretend that he didn't text her. He pretends he doesn't either. He hasn't texted her about his feelings into 3 years, and she thought it was finally over. Now, regarding my brother-in-law, well, he left because he said that his wife made him hang out with a man who had feelings for her without telling him. They had huge fights over this, and he left and is refusing to talk to her. I heard it from my family. I haven't spoken to her or her husband, but he is thinking of ending things.